and good day, everyone. This is Apreal Rose of Malte, and today we were going to tackle about a short story entitled "A Love in the Cornhusks" by Aida Rivera-Ford. But before we move on to the actual story, let's get to know first who is the author. Who is Aida Rivera-Ford? So, Aida was born in Sulo and she crossed over to Negros Oriental in 1949 for an English degree at Suleiman University. And the record toast her as the first editor of Sans and Choral, the school's literary folio, and in 1954, she flew to the University of Michigan on Fulbright grant to secure her master's degree in English. And then, Love in the Cornhusks is one of 5 well-crafted stories for which Rivera-Ford won Jules and every Hapwood Prize in Michigan. And now let's move on to the characters analysis. The first one is the protagonist of the story, Tinang. She is a married woman living in Barrio in the Philippines, and she receives a love letter from her first love, Amado, which triggers her range of emotions and memories from the past relationship. Tinang is torn between her feelings for Amado and her responsibilities toward her husband and son. And then the second one is Amado. Amado is Tinang's first love and the sender of the love letter that reunites their connection. Despite the passage of time, Amado expresses his continued affection for Tinang, and then stirring up old sentiments and complicating Tinang's emotional landscape. And then the third one is Tinang's husband, which is Bagobo, and Tinang's husband represent her current family life and the commitments she has made in her present circumstances. His presence adds layer of complexity of Tinang's internal conflict as she navigates the impact of her past love on her current relationships. And then the last one is Tinang's son. It is significant character in the story because it symbolizes her maternal responsibilities and ties that bind her family. The presence of her son underscores the stakes involved in Tinang's decision-making process and highlights the interplay between the love, duty, and personal fulfillment in her life. And now let's move on to the settings of the story by Aida, Love in the Cornhusks by Aida Rivera-Ford. So the setting of the story is in Barrio. Barrio is the rural village or community in the Philippines. So the story unfolds in the rustic and traditional setting, providing a backdrop that influences the characters' actions, relationships, and emotions. The Barrio setting adds a depth to the narrative, capturing the essence of the Filipino culture, values, and societal norms prevalent in such areas. And finally, let's move on to the story. Let's start first in the exposition. Tinang, a married woman living in Barrio in the Philippines. Tinang received a love letter from her first love, Amado, which rekindles emotions and memories from their past relationship. The exposition sets the stage for the eternal conflict that Tinang will face as she navigates the complexities of love, loyalty, and personal fulfillment. So here in exposition, Tinang visited her senyora the house of her senora, and then they talk about life, and then senora said something to Tinang that there's a letter for her in the pharmacies, so she should get the letter. And then Tinang went to the pharmacy and get the letter, and then Tinang read the letter, and it's all about a love letter from her first love, Amado. And then the rising action is, as the rising action unfolds, Tinang grapples with the feelings stirred up by the love letter from Amado. She reflects on her past with Amado, the choices she made to marry her Bagobo husband, and the responsibilities she has towards her son. Tinang's internal struggle intensifies as she tries to reconcile her lingering emotions for Amado with her current life and commitments. The rising action builds tension as Tinang confronted with the need to make a decision that will impact her relationships and future. So after reading the letter from Amado, of course, she has that mixed emotions. She feels the kilig. She reminisces the past emotions and feelings she has with Amado. She goes back to the happy moments with her first love, and then that time, this is the time when she has to make a choice whether to go back to the past or just continue the life and the present she has. And then the climax of the story occurs when Tina reaches the pivotal moment of decision. Faced with the reality of her feelings for Amado and implications of her choice, Tinang must confront her inner turmoil and make a definitive choice. The climax is the peak of emotional intensity as Tinang grapples with conflicting desires and consequences of her action into ahead. So here in the climax, Tinang is just confused about what will going to happen if she continue to love or she goes back to her past life, past lover, past love, or just continue to go back to her life with her husband in the presence, which is Bogobo, and her responsibilities about her son and her husband. She's confused about what to do. And then the following action is, following the climax, the following action delves into the aftermath of Tinang's decision. It explores the repercussions of her choice on her relationship with her husband, son, and Amado. The following action unravels the emotional fallout of Tinang's actions, revealing the complexities of human emotions and the impact of personal choices on those around her. So here in following action, she then realize and wake up from the reality that she has the responsibility for her husband and her son. Past is past. Let's move on to the future. Let's just move on and continue what we have in the present. She had those thoughts, the consequences of choosing her first love, Amado. she then realized that it's not right. She has now a family. She has a family to protect and to cherish. She has a responsibility to her son. And then that time, she then realized that the snake is crawling around her son and just about to bite her son. And then she suddenly picked up her son and then just walk and forget about those something in the past. And then she realized that her actions will affect what's in the present and on the people around her, which is her son and her husband. And now let's move on to the resolution. The resolution of the story provides closure of Tinang's journey. It reveals the outcome of her internal conflict and external decisions. Offering insights into the consequences of her actions, the resolution brings a sense of finality as Tinang comes to terms with her choices and the path she chose to follow in her pursuit of love and self-discovery. Through the resolution, the story concludes with a reflection of the themes, love, sacrifice, and complexities of human relationship in a rural Filipino setting. So here in resolution, after Tina realizes that she just walk and forget the past and move on to the present and the future, and then she didn't realize that the letter that she was holding fall on the corn husk, fall on the husk, and then just move on, and the letter just stay. She forget about the letter. After picking her son, she then forget about the letter. And then so Tinang just sacrificed her love, her self-emotion, insights, internal conflict, and choose her family. She's being practical. After we tackle about this story, let's then move on to the themes of this story. So there are a lot of themes that you can see on the story, but I only choose two. And then that is love and longing. The theme love and longing is central to the story, driving the emotional depth and complexity of the characters' experiences. Tinang's reconnection with her first love, Amado, through a love letter evokes a sense of longing for the past and ignites unresolved feelings. The exploration of love in various forms, romantic, familial, and nostalgic, undergoes the enduring nature of emotions and the impact of past relationships on the present. Through Tinang's journey of rediscovery and introspection, the theme of love and longing, intricately woven into the fabric of the narrative, highlighting the power of emotions to shape personal choice and relationships. And then the second one that I choose is conflict of emotion and personal choice. Remember, another major theme in the story is the conflict of emotion and complexities of personal choices. Tinang is torn between her feelings for her past first love, Amado, and her present responsibilities towards her husband and son, leading to a profound internal struggle. So the narrative delves into the intricacies of human emotions, desires, and moral dilemmas as Tinang navigates to the conflicting demands of her heart and her duty. The theme of personal choices undergoes the challenging decisions and individual phase when confronted with competing desires and obligations, highlighting the human relationships and consequences of one's actions. And then through Tinang's journey of self-discovery and decision-making of the theme conflict of emotions and personal choices resonate strongly and offering a poignant and exploration of human experience. So we can learn a lot through the themes of the story, that our actions, one's actions, can affect the peoples around us, and there's a lot of consequences if we choose to be not wise, if we choose just our personal emotions and feelings and just neglect the responsibilities. There's a lot of consequences for that. And then the conflict of the story is the big problem in Love in the Cornhusk is how Tina feels inside. The problem is herself. It is human versus human. Human versus self. Human versus self. And she gets a love letter from her old boyfriend, old lover, first love, Amado, and then it makes her remember their past life, their past happy moments, and Tinang is confused because she still cares about Amado. She has this unresolved feelings towards Amado, and then but she is married with a son. She's already a wife. She's already a mother, and so she decides between her old feelings and her family. And then this decision is hard because it will change her relationship and future. The story is all about Tinang's trying to figure out what to do when her heart and her responsibilities pull her in different directions. We have that problem in life where we get to choose whether our personal feelings or our responsibilities, and it is very hard because the problem here is your inner self, your emotions, your feelings, and I can relate to that. We can all relate to that because we all experience that problem. And then that's all for the story Love in the Cornhusk by Aida Rivera. Hope you all enjoy and learned something from this discussion, from this topic. And thank you guys for listening. That's all.